Hello, everybody. I hope everything is going good so far and you are enjoying teaching at Help. In this video, we are going to go over the information about how to grade homework, weekly quizzes, and monthly exams for you guys who are either using the Smart Choice, Gateway, or Workshop books. There are different criteria, but the same spreadsheets apply. This also applies for those who are teaching kids recording attendance, filling out spreadsheets, and report cards. Also, you will see where teachers are supposed to record these grades. Before continuing, please make sure you are using Google Chrome for this. To evaluate the homework that the students do on the Smart Choice platform, we first have to log in as you learned earlier. Remember that there are two sites, one for the digital books and another one site for the resources. The one we are going to be using in this video is the second one, which is to view the resources and activities on Smart Choice. Click on the teacher's name and schedule. Then select a student to evaluate. Then view the units in list form. If the student has 10 out of 10, it means that they finished all of their homework activities. But if they have 8 or 6 out of 10, it means that they haven't finished some. So in class, the teacher has to remind them to finish their homework. Finally, to calculate the grade, for example, take the percentage mark, in this case 82%, and divide it by 10 to get a decimal. That is the homework grade for that unit. Please write it down in a personal notebook so that later you can save it in one of Help's corresponding spreadsheets. To evaluate the weekly quiz in Google formats, what we do is the following. Once you select the quiz to evaluate, remember that they are found in the purple folder called Smart Choice Online Quizzes in the Tehuacan Teachers Google account, and each quiz is saved in its corresponding schedule and level. Okay, return to the steps to obtain the grade. Teachers calculated doing the following. Divide the total of the correct answers by the total of questions, then multiply this by 10. That is the quiz grade for that unit. Please write it down in a personal notebook so that later you can save it in one of Help's corresponding spreadsheets. Remember to have carefully reviewed beforehand and send a feedback to each student about their exam by clicking on the Release Score button. Students will receive this feedback in their emails. To evaluate the monthly exams that are applied once a month physically in the classroom, this happens after having covered a block of 3 units. Teachers have to do the following. Divide the total of correct answers by the total of questions, then multiply this by 10. That is the monthly exam grade. Please write it down in a personal notebook so that later you can save it in one of Help's corresponding spreadsheets. In the grade letter system, grades are represented by letters. But in Mexico, the decimal system is used to represent the grades as the following. At Help, we consider a final grade of 8 or 80% as the minimum to pass to the next level. If the students get a low mark in homework, weekly and monthly exams, this will affect their final grade and final average. If you notice this in some of your students, please notify the supervisor so that together they can help those who need it. There are other cases where students join to the course 1 month or 2 months late due to our open door policy that we have a help. Please, if you receive a student after 1 month, discuss with the supervisor how their grades should be adjusted. There are some cases where students haven't done homework or have many exams pending, but in class they are very good and participative. Please, if you identify this pattern in your students, discuss this with the supervisor so that they can develop a homework plan with this type of students. Sometimes they are students who work. All right. Do you remember that we have 3 grades written down in our notebook for each student? One is for homework, another one is for weekly exams, and the other one is for monthly exams, right? Well, for these, I present you the website that the school has. Having this site helps the supervisor and the staff to have control over the students' progress, as well as to deal with a situation with a student or a parent when they request their grades. This is where teachers must save all their students' grades. In the description of this video, I will leave you the link for this corresponding website. Once you get into the website, click on the top right where it says Teachers by clicking where your name is. You will be able to see the levels and the schedule that you are in charge of. By clicking on the level and schedule you need for recording rates or making notes, you will have the following. A sentence will appear where it says that the document has not been published yet. If this happens to you on your computer, it is because you don't have the teacher's account linked. Don't worry about that. You still can continue working on this by clicking on the icon that is at the top right. The file will request access. For this, you have to log in using Tehuacan Teacher's account. Please click on the part where you see your email or any other linked emails. Then you have to select the account. In these cases, it is new use. You have to add the Tehuacan Teacher's account to this list. If you don't remember the password, ask for it from Rachel. Voila! You will have opened a file like the one on the screen, where you will have different tabs from attendance to averages. In the first tab, you have the attendance sheet. Please keep your attendance sheet updated every day. The letter X means that your students show up to the class, and the black box means that they didn't show up. When you see that the row is gray, it means that the student has dropped out. In the homework tab, you can see that the columns are already divided into blocks of 3. This is because in Smart Choice there are 12 units in total. Here is where teachers are supposed to save their students' grades that were previously written down in your personal notebook. This sheet, please keep it updated every week. Let's go to the Quizzes tab, and you will be able to see the same. The columns are divided into blocks of 3. Here is where teachers are supposed to save their students' grades that were previously written down in your personal notebook. Please keep it updated every week. In this tab of Progress Test 1, we have the accumulated of a first block of the first units. The blue columns change automatically, and in the white ones the teacher has to add information. In the test column, add the grade that the student got on their paper exam that they took during class time in person. In the notes column, please add some comments about what you could observe from the students related to their performance in class. In the Progress Test 2 tab, or also called midterm, here you enter in the grades that the students got on their paper exams after 3 units. I mean, from Unit 1 to Unit 6, and make comments about their progress so far. Now, if you realize on this tab you have an orange table or orange chart, that information will help you to fill out the report cards on paper. To do this, you have to keep the attendance list, weekly quizzes, and Progress Test 1 tabs updated. This report card is to be filled out in black ink with the students, teachers, and class information. And to fill out the rest, use the information from the orange chart in the Progress Test 2 tab, in which all the teachers has to do is transfer the information to this report card in paper. The supervisor will be in charge of giving you a package corresponding to the number of students you have on the list. These reports are to be given stable together with each student's exams to the supervisor for analyzing. The administration is then responsible for giving these reports to each student. For kids and elementary, the report card is different. Consult with the corresponding supervisor for these levels. In the next tab, Progress Test 3, all teachers follow the same procedure. By this period, you will have covered the next 3 units, I mean 7 to 8 of the book. Teachers will have to make comments on students' grades that they got on their monthly exam. In the following Progress Test tab 4, teachers will have reached the last block of units from 10 to 12 of the SmartChoice book, and teachers will follow the same procedure of adding comments and the students' grades obtained in the monthly exam. By this period, it is important to have all the other tabs updated. We ask the teachers to mark in red the low grades from 0 to 6 and the students who don't have a record of any assignment done. In the last tab where it says average, teachers will have to use the information to fill out some report cards for the final term, which it counted from Unit 7 to 12. Teachers will have to transfer the information that is in the orange chart to this report card in paper of each student. Each report card is to be stapled to each student's exam, and those have to be given to the supervisor at the checkout. The administration will then be responsible for giving these reports to each student. For kids and elementary, the report card is different. Consult with the corresponding supervisor for these levels. It is important to keep everything updated and notify any issues or observations about your students and spreadsheets to the supervisor. If the student is neither doing homework nor getting good grades, even if you either have problems with a spreadsheet tab, if you think the formulas are wrong, or if any cells are locked, please let the supervisor know about this. By the 3rd week, you will have gotten the hang of this. If not, don't worry about this and ask for help. Remember, the expert at anything was once a beginner.